Hi, welcome to my channel, Opine with Sujith Panicker. Through this video, I will relate with you my views about religions, politics and current affairs. This video is an interpretation about religions and we will have a journey today through Hinduism, the world's oldest religion. From the beginning of mankind, in all time and places in our history, human beings were in quest to know who we are, where did we come from, what's our place in the world, what happens after we die. These skeptical odds were the first step of stimulus for mankind to correlate with thoughts that some questions can only be answered by faith based on the intervention that something greater than ourselves is there for all beginnings and ends. Some high power that we must answer, or some source we all spring from and to which we all must return. Religions are systems or beliefs that developed and evolved over time to time in response to mankind's quest to these eternal mysteries. Every religion consists of the spiritual perspectives, practices and customs of a people or society transmitted from one generation to the other generation that maintain the connection with the higher realms of consciousness, thus connecting man to God and keeping alive the highest ideals of culture and tradition. It is observed that if the transmission is lost for even one generation, a religion can be lost for all time, left to decay in the dusty libraries of history, anthropology or archaeology. Many religions flourished, faded and forgotten in past, with lesser or more imprint in the human history. Some typical examples of forgotten religions are Sumerian, Babylonian, Assyrian or Assurism, Hellenism, Mesopotamian, Mayans, Mithraism, Eltinism, Canaanite, Manchism, Minoan, Neoplatonism, Slavic, Olmec, Aztecs, American Indians or Hawaiians, etc. Many new religions spoke with new systems or beliefs, and many comprehended those old religious beliefs of forgotten religions, added them to their religion to enhance it. That's the reason we find many beliefs and rituals still a part of many known religions that we know today. Christianity, Islam, Hinduism, Judaism and Buddhism. These are the 5 major religions of the world. Coming to the core subject of this video, Hinduism is a non-Abrahamic religion where Abraham has no role in laying foundation of this belief, as we see in Judaism, Christianity and Islam. Hinduism, the religion over 1 billion people, is the world's oldest religion. It is the world's oldest and active religion which shared a past with Hellenism, Mesopotamian, Babylonian and Hellenistic religions. More than 1 billion Hindus live in 150 different countries, mostly in India. Hinduism is the oldest living religion in the world and the third largest in the world. So, what is Hinduism? To find the distant beginning of Hinduism, we have to go back over 6,000 years to surface with the Indus region of the Indian subcontinent. This vast area extends from Sri Lanka in the south to the Himalayan mountains in the north, from the Arabian Sea in the west to the Bay of Bengal in the east. The Saraswati-Indus civilization developed here, eventually become the world's largest and most advanced, surpassing even those of Egypt, Mesopotamia and China. The civilization is named after the two great river systems, the Saraswati and the Indus. It is also called as Vedic culture, named after the earliest Hindu sacred text, the Vedas. It is also known as the Harappan culture, after site of its first discovery in 1900s. This was an urban culture centered on many highly organized cities, some with populations of 80,000, which are rare in those days. Sanskrit was the ancient language of the Hindus, and the Sanskrit name for the Indus River is Sindhu. The ancient Persians who lived across the other end of Sindhu switched the S to H, so Sindhu became Hindu, and people living across the river Sindhu became Hindus. But the fact remains that this organized culture of Saraswati Vedic Harappan civilization, which its many practitioners abide to know as Sanatana Dharma, which means righteousness forever, or the eternal faith or eternal way to conduct. In general, it may be coined as right living by worshipping God and doing one's duty. Hinduism is a mystical religion, leading the devotee to personally experience the truth within, finally reaching the pinnacle of consciousness, where the realization is attained that man and the Supreme God, Brahman, are one as divine soul, as we are evolving into union with the Supreme God through the process of reincarnation. The proposed alien invasion theory was a propaganda of the British rule as a part of their divide and rule policy. At that period of regime, it gained momentum by dividing the Hindus into two sectors, the Aryans and the Dravidians, North Indian and South Indian. This gibberish has been debunked by many well-renowned Indian scholars and still remains a debate among the Western and Eastern scholars. It is now well understood that the Saraswati Vedic Harappan culture declined when the river Saraswati dried up around 2000 BC. This catastrophe in climate change and topographical change was well explained in Vedic times in their hymns. Many people migrated to more fertile places in eastern and central India, especially along the river Ganga and also beyond the subcontinent. Now from the river Saraswati, the entire goal was shifted to the river Ganga. And the Ganga got the prominence in Hindu culture and rituals by supplanting Saraswati. A sacred hymn which invokes Ganga to purify the rituals goes like this. Gangeja Yamune Jeva Godavari Saraswati Narmade Sindhu Kaveri Jalasmin Sannidhim Kuru. Om Agasha Gange Nama Gangaya Nama Yam Yamunaya Nama Sam Saraswati Nama Om Ganga Sannidhyam Kuru Guru Prasida Prasida. You can see that all main rivers in these hymns are still existing, but not the Saraswati. As Vedas articulate that the river Saraswati has begun to dry up and it now flows subversive, but the bond with the river Saraswati was such that the Vedic people named their goddess of learning, wisdom, music and aesthetics as Saraswati. Goddess Saraswati is also known as Bharati, means eloquence, Shatarupa, existence, Brahmi, Sharada, Vagiswari, Putkari and Ved mother of the Vedas. As all Vedas were revered in the bank of Saraswati river, thus concealing the term Saraswati within the goddess Saraswati. This elucidation makes us to comprehend that the Aryan invasion theory is just a hogwash. Hindus have a diverse beliefs about gods. Even though it looks like polytheistic religion, it is actually a monotheistic religion. Hindus hold that there is one supreme god, Brahman, also known as Hiranyagarbha, the cosmic golden egg from which everything materialized. Here one should understand that the Brahma, the creator God, who is one of the Hindu deity, should not be misinterpreted with the Brahman, the supreme God. Brahman, as per the Hinduism, is the highest universal principle, the ultimate reality in the universe. It is the material, efficient, formal and final cause of all that exists. It is the pervasive, infinite, eternal truth and bliss which does not change, yet is the cause of all changes. Brahman is a metaphysical concept which refers to the single binding unity behind diversity in all that exists in the universe. Brahman is the universe and the material that makes up the universe. Brahman is the absolute reality, unmanifest, unchanging and transient, the self, timeless, formless, spaceless, as pure consciousness. Brahman is the manifest primal substance, pure love and light flowing through all form, existing everywhere and time and space as infinite intelligence and power. As primal soul, Brahman is the source of the universe, essence of soul and existence of life. Brahman is the impersonal ultimate reality or world soul. All beings are part of Brahman and Brahman is likewise part of all things. Humans cannot describe or comprehend Brahman. Even though Hindus believe in a universal soul known as Brahman, a formless, genderless source of all reality. However, there are numerous gods and goddesses in Hinduism. Each denomination also venerates its own pantheon and divinities, devas or great angels known as gods and goddesses who were created by the Supreme Lord Brahman to serve and adore you. It's a complicated concept, but think of Brahman as one an ocean or sea and the rivers joining the ocean or sea. For time being, the rivers look like separate entity, but at the end they meet the ocean or sea where they become one. This concept can be explained in another mode. Think of Brahman as an ocean and everything else a drop propelling out of the ocean, separate for a time, but still the same thing. That puts forth the knowledge of understanding Brahman and other deities of Hinduism. The best perception is that the path may be different, but the ultimate goal is to achieve the Brahman. Just like reaching a destination through available path or sources. These numerous gods represent aspects of one supreme God Brahman. An important trio of this appearance of Brahman, sometimes called Hindu Trinity of Brahman, consists of the creator Brahma, which not to be confused with Brahman, the preserver Vishnu, and the primal Atman, soul, life, self of the universe, Shiva, who is also called as destroyer of the Maya or universe, without which the cycle will not continue. Hinduism has two groups of scriptures, Shruti, that which is heard, and Smriti, that which is remembered. All Hindu scriptures are considered as revelations of God, which was revealed from time to sages and are written in Sanskrit. The Shruti scriptures include the Vedas and Upanishads, and the Smriti scriptures include Vedangas, Darshanas, Idihasas, Puranas, Upavedas, Agamas, Upangas, Tantras and Charvaka. From the Hindu perspective, the world is the place where our destiny is shaped, our desires fulfilled and our soul matured. Without the world known as Maya, the soul cannot evolve to experience from the world. We grow from ignorance into wisdom, from darkness into light, and from consciousness of death to immortality or moksha. Hindus view the world and all of life's process as cycle. They believe that dharma, the absolute law, karma, the casual chain, rebirth into casual chain, and eventually moksha, the liberation from the chain into nirvana, govern every living creature. Hinduism's core belief is an immortal individual soul. In Hinduism, souls are known as Atman. The actions of the soul affects on that soul of this life and afterlife. When one dies, the soul moves to another new body. This is called transmigration. The kind of body the soul inhabits next is determined by its karma, done in beforehand life. Karma is action, usually good or bad actions that affect society. For Hindus, karmic action in the past affect today and actions of today affect our souls in future and afterlife. And as per karma, it is reborn again or will attain moksha. The goal of every Hindu life is to somehow achieve moksha, which means to get back to the eternal truth, the Brahman. If one attains moksha, they will be freed from the cycle of life and death. Thus, by achieving moksha, they can realize their oneness with Brahman. Every soul achieves salvation by realizing its oneness with Supreme God Brahman and is no longer reborn. Hindus believe in the Vedas. The Vedas are Hindu sacred books of knowledge, and it is the revelation from the Supreme God Brahman. There are 4 Vedas, and it is believed that all 4 were divinely revealed to ancient Hindu sages. For Hindus, there is no beginnings or endings, and time is a series of cycles. Each cycle containing 4 ages: the Satyuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, and Kali Yuga, which added together counts total about 4.32 million years. Hindus believe that we are in the 4th and final yuga called the Kali Yuga, and it is believed that Lord Vishnu will reincarnate as Kalki to restore dharma and faith to the Supreme God Brahman. At the end of each cycle, the declining of human morality leads to the total destruction of reality, where Shiva resides the universe with his cosmic dance. As said, the basic principles of Hinduism is dharma, karma, and reincarnation or moksha. Dharma, the cosmic law and order. It's a difficult concept to be explained and has multiple and distinct meanings. One of its most significant and common usage refers to teachings or doctrines. It means the universal law of nature. It means an individual's duty fulfilled by observance of custom or law. It means the path of righteousness, including a fundamental belief in the equality of all people. Dharma is the law that upholds, supports, or maintains the regularity order of this universe. It is believed that as long as everything in the universe, like animals, plants, and humans, follow their dharma, everything will be fine. If dharma declines, the entire cosmos will follow. Each being has its own dharma. Dharma is a cardinal concept in Hinduism. It includes righteousness, truth, sacred law, ethics, duty, justice, religion, and the laws of nature. Dharma means that which upholds the dharmic principle of ahimsa or non-violence, which is important to this day. A teacher's dharma is to teach the knowledge that he or she inherit to his or her students. A king's dharma is to rule well. A warrior's dharma is to fight. A priest's dharma is to do rituals in proper manner. A parent's dharma is to look after their hair. A husband's dharma is to be true to his wife. A wife's dharma is to be a leader of the home and be truthful to the cause. A son's dharma is to look after their old age parents with care and affection. Dharma is applicable to all living and non-living beings, no matter what state they are. Dharma is God's divine law prevailing on every level of existence, from sustaining cosmic order to religious and moral laws which bind us in harmony with that order. In relation to the soul, Dharma is a mode of contact most conducive to spiritual advancement, the right and the righteous path. For humans, their specific Dharma is usually based on their age and their caste. Caste doesn't mean like what many things and what the propaganda some scholars put forth. In Hinduism, caste is distinguished as per the designation of what one does. Means that one is distinguished into a caste not only by his birth but also by his karma. Karma is a natural law of the mind, just as gravity is a law of matter. Karma is not fate, and one can create his own destiny. The Vedas tells us that if we see goodness in everything, we will reap goodness. If we sow evil, we will reap evil. Karma refers to the totality of our actions and their concomitant reactions in this and previous lives, all of which determine our future. It is the interplay between our experience and how we respond to it that makes karma devastating or helpfully invigorating. The conquest of karma lies in intelligent action and dispassionate reaction. Not all karma is reborn immediately. Some accumulate and return unexpectedly in this or other births. Karma means that anything a person does, whether good or bad, will eventually return to him in this life or a future life. Based on their previous life's karma, an individual is born in any of the four castes or varna: Brahmin, priesthood; Kshatriya, warriorhood; Vaishya, merchanthood; and Shudra, laborhood. But this is not the concluding part 2, and no one is stuck to this. A Shudra by birth can attain the Brahmin or Kshatriya or Vaishya status by his karma. The same is applicable for Kshatriyas and Vaishyas too. A Brahmin can degrade to become a Shudra by his karma. The Rig Veda also refers to the caste system. It says, humans were created from the parts of the god Purusha. The Brahmins from his face, the Kshatriyas from his arms, the Vaishyas from his thighs, and the Shudras from his feet. This system was supposed to assign people's functions based on their abilities, not their birth. If someone had the qualities of Brahmin or Vaishya, they could easily fill those roles. Hinduism doesn't restrict movement among castes. So birth to a caste alone doesn't entitle one to be superior or inferior. That's the reality of caste system in Hinduism, which was misinterpreted and later on added as doctrine to Manusmriti, the Hindu law for the convenience of those hierarchy people during 3 to 2 BCE. Without knowing this, many propagate that Hinduism is a caste-based religion, which to be condemned and be in conflict with Manusmriti. The Vedas explains that one becomes virtuous by virtuous action, bad by bad action. The virtuous one becomes the superior in this caste system by his good deeds or karma. The other basic principle is reincarnation. Reincarnation or punarjanma is a natural process of birth, death and rebirth. At death, we drop off the physical body and continue evolving in the inner worlds in our subtle bodies until we again enter into birth. As per Hinduism, we are not the body in which we live, but the immortal soul which inhabits many bodies in its evolutionary journey through samsara or universe. After death, we continue to exist in unseen worlds, enjoying or suffering the harvest of earthly deeds until it comes time for yet another birth. Vedas state that after death, the soul goes to the next world, bearing in mind the subtle impressions of his deeds, and after reaping their harvest, returns again to this world of action. Actions set in motion in previous lives form the tendencies and conditions of the next reincarnation, ceases when karma is resolved. Some souls which have done good karma gets liberated and will attain moksha. Other souls reincarnate till God is realized and moksha liberation is attained. Unlike Judaism, Christianity or Islam, Hinduism has no Torah or Bible or Quran. Instead, they have a bunch of different sacred texts. It's a library of knowledge. The Vedas, which means knowledge, are a large body of religious texts, form the basis of the Hindu faith. The Vedas advise to behold the universe in the glory of Supreme God Brahma. And all that lives and moves on earth, leaving the transient, find joy and the eternal. There are 4 Vedas with 4 types embedded texts. The Samhitas, the Brahmanas, the Aranyakas and early Upanishads. Samhitas literally means put together, joint union, a collection and a methodically rule-based combination of text or verse or hymns and mantras which forms the basis of Vedas. The Brahmanas are Vedic study works attached to Samhitas, hymns and mantras of Rig, Sama, Yajur and other Vedas. They are the secondary layer or classification of Sanskrit texts embedded with each Veda. Often explains and instruct Brahmins on the performance of Vedic rituals. The Aranyakas constitutes the philosophy behind ritual sacrifice of the ancient Hindu sacred texts, the Vedas. The Upanishads are late Vedic Sanskrit texts of religious teachings and ideas still revered in Hinduism. They are the most recent part of the oldest scriptures of Hinduism. They are the most recent part of the oldest scriptures of Hinduism. That is the Vedas that deal with meditation, philosophy and ontological knowledge. The first and the oldest one of the Vedas is the Rig Veda. The Rig Veda is a collection of songs that praise and discuss ideas like truth, reality and the universe, along with the discussion on war, weddings and rituals. The second is Yajur Veda. The Yajur Veda covers stuff such as sacrificial rites and rituals. The third is Sama Veda. literally means sweet song that destroys sorrow. It is mostly songs dedicated in praising of gods. It is different than the rest of the Vedas because it's set to music. The fourth is Other Veda with knowledge to invoke rain or discover herbal medicine, along with tips on warfare, discuss about various diseases, their cause and cure. This is the first book of mankind which elaborates about atom and microorganisms like bacteria, virus and fungi. In Vedic times, number 3 was the most sacred single digit, which can be attributed to the current philosophy of Trinity in Hinduism: Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva. The number 7 was recognized as a spiritual number, which can be attributed to Vishnu, the preserver, and stands for life or sustainability. Number 6 was recognized as a number of Rudra, which can be attributed to Shiva, the primal Atman, and number 8 stands a link between life and death and stands for birth, which is the cause to become acquainted to Maya or illusion, which one goes through in their life and is attributed to Brahma, the creator, who is not worshipped or not given prominence in the Hindu scriptures and temples. Apart from the number 3, the most sacred single digit number 6, 7, 8, the most holy numbers in the Vedic times. And number 11 is considered auspicious one. After the Vedas, Hindus revere the Upanishad most. These are like sequel that makes the original make much more sense. They are all about questioning, doubt, debate and finding the answers to life's difficult questions. The Upanishads are a collection of Hindu texts which contain some of the central philosophical concepts of Hinduism. The Upanishads commonly referred to Vedanta, variously interpreted to mean either the last chapters, parts of the Vedas, or the object, the highest purpose of the Veda. The concept of Brahman, ultimate reality, and Atman, soul, self, and the identical nature are central ideas in all Upanishads. And know your Atman is the main focus of Upanishads. The Upanishads are the foundation of Hindu philosophical thought and its diverse traditions. The Upanishads plays an important role in the development of the spiritual ideas in ancient India, marking a transition from Vedic ritualism to new ideas and institutions. Of all Vedic literature, the Upanishads alone are widely known as their central ideas are the spiritual core of Hinduism.
सर्वेषां स्वस्तिर्भवतु सर्वेषां शान्तिर्भवतु सर्वेषां पूर्णं भवतु